When the Spanish returned after Magellan's failed attempt, they didn't come for diplomacy. They came with a plan: conquer, convert, and control. In 1565, Miguel López de Legazpi arrived with soldiers, missionaries, and a clear mandate from the Spanish crown. Within decades, vast parts of the Philippines had been forcibly brought under Spanish rule. Not through treaties, but through military conquest, deceit, and religious domination. Unlike India or Africa, the colonization of the Philippines was not built around massive resource extraction. It was centered on religious conquest. The Catholic Church became the backbone of colonization. Friars weren't just spiritual leaders. They were mayors, tax collectors, educators, and enforcers of Spanish rule. They wielded more power than civil authorities in many provinces. Churches were erected not as community centers, but as symbols of submission. Entire towns were reorganized around them. Indigenous practices were banned. Sacred objects were destroyed. The Babaylan, spiritual leaders, often women, were branded as witches and hunted down. Native faiths were called demonic. Local scripts like Baybayin were erased in favor of Romanized alphabets. What couldn't be conquered by the sword was targeted through faith. Baptism became mandatory. Spanish names were forcibly assigned. Entire villages were relocated into compact settlements called reducciones, where friars could monitor behavior, enforce church attendance, and suppress rebellion. Even Filipino identity was fractured. The archipelago was never united under one native empire, but Spanish rule ensured that disunity became permanent. They played ethnic groups against each other, appointed collaborators, and crushed dissent. Revolts were frequent, in Pangasinan, Ilocos, Bohol, and Mindanao, but ruthlessly suppressed. And perhaps most devastatingly, the Moro communities of Mindanao and Sulu, who resisted both conversion and occupation, were labeled as savages, a narrative that still echoes in modern policies and prejudices today. By the 1600s, the Philippines was a colony in every sense, ruled not just by laws or armies, but by altars, confession booths, and the fear of damnation. Christianity was not freely embraced. It was violently imposed, becoming the most enduring weapon of Spanish colonization. In the next section, we'll look at the economic and labor exploitation that kept Filipinos poor for 300 years, while Spain profited in gold, galleons, and obedience.